Agenda 21, The Death Knell of Liberty, Redix American Sovereignty, Al Gore, Barack Obama, United Nations by Jim O'Neill Saturday, Canada Free Press first published October 12, 2009 rewritten and republished October 17, 2009 https://index.php/article/15896 The common enemy of humanity is man. In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine and the like would fit the bill. The real enemy then is humanity itself. Democracy is no longer well suited for the tasks ahead. From the Club of Rome's The First Global Revolution pages 71, 75 1993 Therefore, send not to know for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. John Donne 1572-1631, The death knell for freedom has been tolling for some time, and only now are people starting to hear it. It started tolling faintly, decades back, and has slowly progressed in volume, until today its tolling is impossible to ignore. The United States of America, that shining city on a hill, had a good run of it, and made a gallant effort at establishing liberty for all. But as the old saw wit of it, all good things must come to an end. Liberty, after all, is an aberration in mankind's history, a light that has flared here and there over the centuries, only to dissolve back into the darkness. America is barreling towards becoming a bit player on the world stage, and its vaunted middle class, once the envy of the world, is on the verge of being eliminated. For the good of the planet, for the good of Gaia, for the good of the collective. In a little over a month from now, Obama intends to sign away the United States sovereignty to the United Nations at a conference in Copenhagen, Denmark. It will be the occasion of the United Nations COP15, meaning the 15th meeting of the 1992 Signatories Council of Parties to Agenda 21. Al Gore has said, this treaty must be negotiated this year. Not next year. This year. Freedom will irrevocably be replaced by servitude, capitalism by socialism, and property rights by sustainable development. Freedom will irrevocably be replaced by servitude, capitalism by socialism, and property rights by sustainable development. America has been set up like a bowling pin, and is about to take a fall. We are at the end game point. And the globalists know it. Why do you think the Democratic and many Republican political hacks on Capitol Hill are so dismissive of the American people? They are essentially putting on a dog and pony show for public consumption, while the final pieces for America's defeat are slid into place. No, they are not worried about upcoming free elections. To a great extent the globalists own the mass media, the entertainment industry, our schools, and the judicial, executive, and legislative branches of government. Why should they worry? Already, several generations have been indoctrinated, via our school systems, to value globalization and social justice over personal responsibility and free enterprise. They have been repeatedly sold the idea that they should think globally, act locally. God has been demeaned, marginalized, and eradicated at every turn. Our religions are, in many cases, a watered-down and diluted mimicry of true spirituality. The religion of the globalists preaches the worship of Gaia, Mother Earth. Shouldn't that be Mother Father Earth? They do not worship God. The globalists have come out from the closets, the woodwork, and from under rocks. They know that their time of hiding is at long last over. They are brazen about, and proud of, their anti-American pro-global stance. Their arrogance and hubris is palpable. Call them communists, Marxists, fascists, or globalists, all them what you will. They are collectivists who despise America's middle class, capitalism, and free enterprise. They have been duplicitous, Machiavellian, clever, and patient. And it has paid off. The trap has been sprung. How did this happen? America got hit high, and America got hit low. We suffered sudden catastrophic sneak attacks from without, and insidious long-term betrayal from within. We were hit low by Alinsky-esque community organizers in our streets, and propagandists in our schools. We were hit high by think tanks like the Trilateral Commission, the Club of Rome, and the CFR, Council for Foreign Relations. They have divided us with special interest groups, vociferous talking point attacks, and identity politics. They have infiltrated our schools, and indoctrinated our children. They have opened floodgates using the cloward-proven strategy, overwhelming our judicial system, banking establishment, and border security. They have encouraged corruption and greed at the lowest and highest levels of government. They have twisted and perverted the United States Constitution. They have promoted and encouraged anything and everything that would help bring America down. They intend on taking over the planet, but first they needed to destabilize, and then destroy, the United States of America. Because we were a powerful bulwark of freedom, we had to go first. And to a large extent, go we have. In this article, I will focus on the contributions made by the Club of Rome and Agenda 21, to America's defeat. The Club of Rome was founded in 1968, in Italy, by Aurelio Peccei, an Italian scholar and industrialist, and Alexander King, a Scottish scientist. Over the years the list of its members has included ex-presidents, prime ministers, kings, queens, diplomats, and billionaires. Its membership roster reads like a who's who of the world's movers and shakers. It includes UN bureaucrats, scientists, economists, and business leaders from around the globe. After its inception, it split into two more branches, the CLB Club of Budapest, and the COM Club of Madrid. The CLB focuses on social and philosophical issues, while the COM concentrates on political issues. In addition, there are over 30 affiliated organizations in other countries such as the USA Club of Rome in America. It is worth noting that the COM was founded by former Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev and Diego Hidalgo, who co-founded the ECFR European Council on Foreign Relations with George Soros. The Club of Rome first garnered public attention with its 1972 report The Limits to Growth, which went on to become the best-selling environmentalist book of all time. Simply stated, its main thesis is that economic growth cannot continue indefinitely, because of the limited availability of natural resources, particularly oil. It's sort of an industrialized version of a Malthusian nightmare. 20 years later, the Club of Rome published the first global revolution. A quote from the book appears at the start of this article. This book also made a big splash, and helped to re-energize and expand the whole environmentalist movement. Another quote from the book worth keeping in mind is, "It would seem that humans need a common motivation, namely a common adversary. Such a motivation must be found to bring the divided nations together to face an outside enemy, either a real one, or else one invented for the purpose." One invented for the purpose. Enter climate change and greenhouse gases. But something even more important happened the year before the first global revolution came out. At the instigation of the Club of Rome, and their ilk, in 1992 the United Nations held the Conference on Environment and Development, informally known as the Earth Summit, in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. At the Earth Summit, 178 nations signed an agreement called Agenda 21, so called because it dealt with the United Nations agenda for the 21st century. It consists of numerous chapters detailing the role that different parts of society should play in implementing sustainable development. There are chapters for central governments, local governments, businesses, and community organizations. George Bush Sr., then President of the United States, flew down and committed the United States to the UNFCCC Framework Convention on Climate Change Agenda. Ever since then, the executive branch, Republican and Democrat, has been bypassing Congress and passing soft laws foisting Agenda 21 on the American public. Check out the United States Department of Energy website. Check out the United States Department of Agriculture website. Check out the United States Department of the Interior website. No matter where you go, environmentalism permeates the United States government bureaucracy. Sometimes it's blatant and out front. Other times you may need to dig a little, but it's always there. The Agenda 21 globalists wine and dine each other, and hold conventions and conferences around the world. They give each other praise, pats on the back, and prestigious awards. The Norwegian globalists just gave Obama the Nobel Peace Prize, and for the same reason that they gave one to Al Gore, heavily pushing Agenda 21. Gore's movie An Inconvenient Truth also received an Oscar from the Hollywood elite. These honors have been bestowed on Gore, not for exposing the truth, for An Inconvenient Truth is merely a slickly packaged lie, but because the film spreads the falsehoods of Agenda 21 so well. It can only be shown to school children in the UK, if accompanied by a disclaimer. The UK's The Daily Mail reports that teachers will have to warn pupils that there are other opinions on global warming, and they should not necessarily accept the views of the film. The Daily Mail also noted that the lawyer who successfully sued to have the disclaimer attached, said it did not go far enough. He said no amount of turgid guidance could change the fact that the film is unfit